I did want to speak about something real quick because some of my fellow Jewish leftists have really been disappointing me. Because you're hanging on to this premise that Jews need their own theocratic ethno-state. No one gets a theocratic ethno-state. We live in a diverse, heterogeneous world where human beings have been moving across it all over the place for many tens of thousands of years. And I get why you think this, because we are fed this from birth and ritually reminded of it every year as part of our religion, that we have suffered so much and that we need a homeland. But it's just ahistorical to think that Jews have suffered in some unique and special way that makes them entitled to a theocratic ethno-state. Unfortunately, genocide is a dime a dozen in this world. Even looking at European history. Yeah, the Christians really put a target on the Jews' back for a good 1,700-ish years there, give or take. But as bad as Jews had it, Romani's had it worse, just about everywhere. So where's their theocratic ethno-state? Who are we going to kick off their land at gunpoint to give Romanis a homeland? Jews, at least we got to have shtetls. Sure, they were, targeted for massacres occasionally, but the Romanis weren't even allowed to sit down, let alone being held as chattel slaves in Romania for 500 years. And just look around the world. Look at Black people in the Americas. Look at indigenous people all over the planet. They've all been enslaved and genocided by Christo-fascist colonizers. So our suffering just isn't that special. And the only reason that the UK and the US went along, touted that line and gave us an army was because they didn't want Jews in their countries after World War II. And they said, oh shit, we can send all these Jews to a desert where the indigenous people there have no standing army to defend themselves with and no modern military technology. And then we get an economic and military foothold in the Middle East that will always be beholden to us. Yeah, the UK and the US thought that was a pretty sweet deal after World War II. And y'all are leftists. I'm talking about Jewish leftists. Everyone gets a place to live and everyone gets equal rights where they live. So that means no theocratic ethno-states, anywhere, for anyone. That's just kind of how it's gotta be. And if you're carving out an exception for Jews just because you're Jewish, then you have no ideological integrity. So we need to think that one through a second time, folks.